大家好，大家晚上好。我是李国顺，来自深圳市外贸人培训学校。那么今天我讲的是如何和客人聊天，聊什么 ？OK。Later I share you some ways to chat with a customer, even some potential customer. I mean, some sales don't know how to chat with a customer. But some sales chat a lot, but no orders. So I need to tell you how to chat. This is very, very important. This is very important. If you don't know how to chat, you cannot have very good personal relationship with a customer. So no good for your orders, no good for your business. Anyway, any kind of sales, he must be very good talker. Talkative. So here I show the topics of the chatting. Okay, topics of the chatting. Okay, many ways. Okay, many topics. In fact, some guys say, "Oh, I don't know how to talk. I have no topics." In fact, there are so many topics to talk about. Okay, first, weather, climate, geography, history. I mean, these kind of things is more about his local country, customer's country, more about his weather in his country, climate in his country, geography and history. These kind of topics, customers show interest. And also, this will not offend his habit, maybe his custom. So no worry. Okay, just talk about that. And anyway, you can also share some, weather, climate, geography, history in our city, in China as well. In China as well. So in this way, this is very commonly topics for even in Western country. People also talk about this kind of topics. You can talk more. Okay, you can talk more. Okay, talk more. Okay. Secondly, you can talk about his hobbies and your hobbies. Why? Because if we share same hobbies, we can talk more. Example: some people show interest in football. Even you are good player of football. Maybe he is a good player of football, right? In this way, you can share many things about football. Maybe you can talk about the popular star in France, in UK, in Argentina. Come on, you can talk more. This is very good things. This is very good thing. For example, if some people say, "Hey, I like reading," I also like reading. In this way, you can talk many novels, such kind of things. So anyway, hobbies very important. Okay, because as long as you share the same hobbies, then you can talk about that. Group of people always meet together. Thirdly, we can talk about ourselves, like our school, our hometowns, our hometown, our interests, and our families. But anyway, you decide. If you think it's very personal, you can forget it. Talk about. Some people say, "Hey, come on, this is my secret." In this way, don't talk about it. But anyway, your hometown, talk about your family and your interest. Such kind of things, I think it's not so secret. It's not so confidential. Especially, I met many foreigners. They always show me on the phones. "Hey, this is my daughter. This is my son. This is my wife." They show interest in the family. They show interest in family. So that's why, if you can talk about your family, maybe you have a better relationship with customers. Only because only good friends, then we can share your family. For unknown person, I think you don't want to share your family, right? So this is talk about yourself, your school, your hometown, your interest, or maybe your family. This is very important, okay? Very, very important. Next one, culture exchange. Culture exchange. Show strong interest in his culture and our culture. But some people say, hey, how can I know his culture? Hey, very super easy. Even if you do not take travel in his country, you can, what should you do? You can search on internet and read many articles about his country. Just for example, in France, right? France has a long history, like Paris. You know, there are many historic sites in Paris. You can talk about Paris. You can talk about the perfume. You can talk about the red wines. You know, you can talk about the fashion. Ladies like the fashion, right? Like the jewelry, perfume, red wines. Ladies like them. Then, but anyway, you never been to France, right? Still, you can talk about France, right? So, I mean, you need to read it. Read many articles. Read many things. You know, before customer come to our country, come to visit our factory, we can read a lot about his country. So you know his culture very well. But at the same time, you need to compare our culture with his culture. Then in this way, you have to understand the Chinese culture very well. You know, if you know Chinese culture very well, you also, you have more confidence. Because China has longer history than most countries in the world. You know, we have at least, our history is more than 5,000 years. Right? You can talk many things, you know, historic sites, cultural events, you know, even we talk about our 3 inventions in Chinese history. I mean, these things are also very fantastic. So that's why you need to understand his culture and our culture. You know, to compare this kind of culture exchange. You know, also, come on, customer also, they also will show interest in Chinese culture, right? Because I met many customers, foreigners, they show interest in Chinese culture. So I know China is a very Asian country. Okay, so culture exchange, these kind of things. Okay, we can talk about that. Okay, these are, I call it free talk, not about business. You know, during your contact with customer, even before your customer places order, you can have a free talk. You can have a free talk with customer. You can talk about these topics. Come on, many things to talk. You know, many things to talk about. You know. The next one. 5. We can talk about his business, his size. You know, the main products, his sales volume, his history, then his plan, the market situation. Then gradually, why? 5, I change it to business. Then because at last, you have to discuss business with customer. Okay? So 5, we talk about his business. Okay? Then next one, 6, we introduce our company and our products occasionally. Especially talk about our hot seller, you know, our advantages. We can talk about these things. Maybe customer show interest. You can send some pictures to him, take some video for him. If he show interest, he will talk to you right away. But I think why, you know, at the beginning, for 4 points, I have free talk with customer. Then gradually, for 5 points and 6 points, at last, gradually I talk about the business. Because business is our final target. But the thing is, some sales, they only have free talk with customer, never talk about business. Then come on, your time is limited. You need to have order for your company. So you need to talk about business, at last. But some sales, they only talk about their business, no free talk. This way, your talking is boring because every time business, your talking is very boring. Think about that, okay? So this is how to talk to a customer, how to chat with the customer, okay? Thank you so much.